Hey guys, my name is Miska and welcome to Overwatch Central. It's a big mishmash of news today as well. Some follow-ups and some things I want to talk about regarding the PTR and some patches. Let's get started. First off, Paris has actually been re-enabled. So if you don't know, Paris was actually disabled for a while. Yesterday that news came out. It was in the list of 1.4 known issues, and that list has since been updated and now contains Paris update. The issue with the Paris map has been fixed and the map has been re-enabled. So yeah, that's back in action. I did see some tweets late last night talking about how we had said that it was disabled, but then it was back. And I mean, that's the thing, honestly. We just kind of live on Blizzard's schedule to some degree, so pardon us if we're a little bit behind. Time zones and all that make things pretty difficult to cover sometimes. One thing that's not been difficult to cover though are balance patches, because there have barely been any for quite a while. This is very interesting for a couple of reasons that people have started to bring up a bit here and there lately. No major news or comment from Blizzard about it, but before 222 and before roll queue and all of that stuff was announced in, I believe, July this year, there was quite a lot of talk about the different sort of pillars of what that involved. And one of them was balance around 222, and how obviously when roll queue and 222 would be introduced into the game, then you would have to rebalance some things. Now, that's where Blizzard haven't really delivered, at least some people feel. And personally, I'm kind of on board with those people as well. There was one balance patch initially with 222 that addressed Brig, of course, and some other things here and there. It was a pretty good patch, don't get me wrong, I really appreciate that. But after that one, it took about a month or so, or a little bit less than a month maybe, until the next one, which was of course the one that's been on the PTR now for quite a while. And other than that, we haven't really had many balance changes. The small thing here and there, sure, but it doesn't really feel like the changes that were made to combat goats have actually kind of been phased out again afterwards, now that goats isn't really a thing. And people got that sort of impression that Blizzard would actually be doing that stuff. We're lacking a bit of communication here, and I mean, maybe I'll just tweet from the OW Central account and see what you guys think about it on Twitter as well. But feel free to let me know in the comments here if you feel like Blizzard are changing things at the right pace, or if things should be changing even faster. Because I have definitely seen some people go, oh, don't complain about some tanks not being too viable right now. We've only had a few weeks of this whole 222 thing properly, but I don't really agree with that. The roll queue beta has been going for quite a while, and now the proper season. Anyway, let's get back to some new stuff instead of more discussion things. If you watched, I believe, Tuesday's video, I mentioned some Overwatch League sprays and icons that would be added that you could get if you watched the Grand Finals. And this time around, we've actually got a picture. Earn Grand Finals exclusives from the Grand Finals in Philadelphia 2019, presented by Xfinity. Watch 1 hour tailgate spray, watch 2 hours Grand Finals 2019 icon, and watch 3 hours watching ball spray. Watch on Twitch. Wow, that's a lot of watch in one picture, but either way, there they are. If you wanted to have a look at them, figured I would update that sort of story, whatever you want to call it, follow up with an image now that we actually have it. Ryan and I will actually be at the Grand Finals. We'll be traveling next week. So yeah, both Ryan and I will be there for the whole event. We'll tweet out some stuff so you can catch us. Maybe we'll do a meetup or something. Pretty sure we'll be hanging up with Salos at least a bit here and there. So hopefully we can gather all of us together and any other content creators that are there to catch as many of you as possible. Finally, I wanted to highlight a character in particular that I've seen more and more discussion about. Recently, I tweeted out actually saying that I was missing playing Winston quite a bit, and I noticed that at least some people seem to be kind of with me there on wanting to play a tank that's just quite different from Orisa, Reinhardt, and Sigma that are the main prominent tanks right now. I saw a pretty big discussion about this on r/competitive Overwatch as well, and whilst I think a lot of people overall agree that Winston is a little bit too dead right now, his pick rate and win rate are just pretty atrocious, and whilst you can look at it overall and see, hey, he's down there with some other like off-meta heroes and such, it's more the fact that if you look at like Grandmaster or tiers where people have really started to try and figure out the meta, Winston pick rate is less than 1% most of the time, and even in the tiers where he's played a little bit more, his win rate is just below 45% in some cases. I saved the speculation for last because personally I would love to see like a new ability or something along those lines for Winston, kind of like Reinhardt had. So you remember how Steadfast was added for Reinhardt to address the knockback issues and things like that. I think it's 30% reduced knockback on Reinhardt now because of that, and that was really cool. I thought that was a cool way of tackling those issues, and now people had been complaining that it felt like you were just a beach ball getting thrown around when playing Reinhardt. One thing that I saw that I would absolutely love to see, I caught a couple comments just speculating about it, is something that allows Winston to actually deal more damage to things like non-hero targets, so shields and primarily the Baptiste lamp, the immortality field thing, maybe Symmetra turrets again, so you kind of have a little bit of a counter going on there, especially with her gun being so strong nowadays anyway. That, along with just rebalancing the game a little bit, I think could really spice things up. But obviously I'm a bit biased here since I really just want to play Winston. Let me know what you think about that though. We're definitely entering one of those listening phases for Blizzard where they're just kind of taking in feedback on what they've recently added. Of course aiming to do things overall for BlizzCon, but you know, before BlizzCon I'd imagine we'd at least get 1 or 2 more balance patches. Would be kind of weird if they just left the game entirely up until then. To finish up, I just wanted to make some people aware as well, in case you don't have a lot of time playing Overwatch, then you might want to know this before you grind out a few wins for the Bastion skin. So with the Bastion skin, you obviously just have to win 9 games to get it, right? And it's a really cool skin, but if you're grinding out 9 games in a row, like maybe playing arcade or something like that to try and get some shorter games, but still just playing a lot of that in a row, you should know that the muzzle flash for the Lego brick skin, whilst really cool and has some cool Lego detail on it, is actually quite a bit more noticeable and bigger than the other muzzle flashes for Bastion's guns, and it can make it a little bit difficult to play with. I've played a lot of other FPS games where muzzle flashes have been a massive problem for trying to aim and such, and this is definitely noticeable. So if you don't have a lot of time to play, then maybe don't just spam out 9 or 10 or however many you need to get the 9 wins in arcade or whatever and burn yourself out from that only to be disappointed there. Just as like an FYI, because I know there are some people that watch our videos that don't have a lot of time to play Overwatch a week, but watch these videos on like commutes to work back and forth. Just a bit of a heads up there. Anyway, that's everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more Overwatch content as per usual, and yeah, until next time, take care and we'll see you then.